Welcome back, and in this video I'm going to be taking us through a tutorial on how this design was created on Pixellab, particularly this manipulation done on the picture and text here. So let's start with the background. So for the background, I made use of a gradient color. So the gradient color I used was this at the center, and the color at the middle is a little bit lighter. You can see where the slider is. Then the one at the edges, you can see it slightly moved to the left a bit, so that's for you to make it darker. Same thing for the other side. Just move it backwards a bit, then you should have something like this. Short, yeah, something like this. Then after that, we move on to adding our text. So we have happy. Okay, we have. Let's start with birthday. Okay, you need to split them. Birth, increase the size. Then we'll be making use of a font that's Baby Snue, anyhow it's pronounced. So reduce the spacing between the letters. Okay, yeah, I think -2. So I think this is enough. Then we move on to working on the perspective. You turn it on, then okay, yeah, you're done with that. Then you also duplicate and you write the remaining words. That is DAY. The But you need to add two space, one, two, because if you check the first word we have is 5 letter one, this one is just three. For you not to scatter or have a disrupt in the perspective you've created, you need to fill up that extra spaces. So that's why I added two space for it to be perfectly aligned. And even at that, you can see it's not still aligned. So I think let's just add one extra space. Yeah, so you can see it's not aligned. Okay, one more. Yeah, it's perfect now. So that's settled. The next thing we should do now is give appropriate stroke when necessary. So for this DAY, would not be using color, making it a transparent color. That is, we want to make the text an outline. So you actually take this to back, this last slider, you drag it to the back, you tap on OK, then you come to stroke, you select white, then you can now reduce the weight. Okay, one or two. Okay, let's try two. Then for this birthday, we'll be duplicating this birth, we'll be duplicating the text here. Okay, let's give it a different color so we can easily identify it. So then let's delete the first two letters. Then you fill it up with space. The end of filling it up with space is so you won't have to edit the perspective every time. And if you're doing it every time, it's not even be perfect. So better you just choose one perspective. So yeah, that's settled. So for that, we'll not be using white, we'll be using colorless. Then you give it white stroke. So I think we use stroke too. Yeah, now for the first part here, which is BI, you also delete BIR, then you give it one. So you fill up the space. So try to adjust this. Yeah, so this is what we have now. And why did we have to split this? Now we have split this text into three different parts. You can see you have the BI, you have the DAY, and you have the RTH. So why did we have to split the text that way? Let's check the reference. You can see the picture is touching RTHDAY. BI is separate, so that's why we needed to split it that way. So what we are going to do now is we are going to let's lock every of the layers we have here. So let's duplicate each okay, let's duplicate this out DAY and RCH. We'll duplicate and hide them. We might use them and we might not even use them, but so you don't have to repeat your work all over from the beginning. It's always important to duplicate everything you're doing. So then we merge this DAY and this RTH together because they're the one that would contain the picture we'll be using. So you should have something like this. So let's move them up. Okay, in case you don't know how to move more than one element at the same time, once you open your layers, you tap on this part here, then you tap on the things you want to move. I want to move this, then I merge, and I want to also move BI. Then you tap this second circle here, then you tap on this whatever thing you want to do to, then you do them simultaneously. So now the next thing is let me import the picture I want to use. So this is the picture, keep it somewhere. Then for this RTHDAY, you would add the texture of that picture, but this is where the manipulation comes in. The texture, remember you duplicated the RTH and DAY, so we'll be unlocking them and placing them back on the design. So but instead of giving them a color, you give them color. Now they will be color white. Then you remove the stroke. You cannot see here. Okay, DAY. Sorry about that. Okay, so you'll be aligning it properly on it. Then for the RTH, color should be white. Then you remove the stroke for this. Take it to the front so you can easily move it around. Yeah, so after that, you now merge the ones with color. This is the one without color, the stroke, and this is the one with color. So you merge these two. Yeah, so it's the one with color you're going to be giving a stroke. You can see this is the one without color here. You can see it. So this is the one with color. So this is what you're going to be giving stroke, your texture. So for your picture, you give it a texture. So when you are giving a texture, you give it a texture, you crop it towards the right hand side this way. If you crop it, if you leave it in full, you would not actually be able to create that effect particularly. So when you are cropping, let it be cropped towards the left hand side a little bit like this. So you tap on your mark icon, then you scale it, scale it, scale it. So I think it's okay this way. Then once you're done with that, you tap on mark. That's where this picture now comes in play. So you now have to align this here picture and let it look at see if it's a continuation of what you have before here. So it's where the tedious task is. So you can pick any part of the picture, but now I'm making reference with the mouth. So I'm trying to adjust it from the mouth. So I think this picture is big. It's big. So I'm using the mouth as a reference to adjust it. It's still big, so you can pick any part of the body to as a reference to adjust the picture. So I think it will be easier that way. So I think it's not perfect yet. Okay, I think it's perfect now. Yeah, so that's been done. All you need to do is now the one for your stroke. Then we might need to increase the stroke. Okay, let's take it to the front first. I think it's at the back. Okay, yeah, it's in front now. So all we need to do now is now clean the excess parts in this our picture of place at the back. So we have actually not okay, let me come over the process again. What we actually did the first time was this parts that has color. Okay, let me see. This part that has color, this one here that has color, we gave it a texture, and I told you how you crop your picture. You crop it towards the right hand side. Then after that, this one with stroke, we brought it to front. Then we added this our picture under it, and you make sure you set it so it looks like a continuation. Get so that's how we've come about this. So what you now need to do is this picture that you added under it, you now clean out some parts of it. So taking this picture, looking at it, why is starting from somewhere around very close to the neck. So when you are cleaning, you make sure your erasing doesn't get to there. And for this detail, somewhere on the shoulder there. So we'll just clean having those, putting those things in mind. So let's see what we have. Okay, we can still clean a little bit more. Yeah, so for the D2, yeah, so can now clean off parts like this. Yeah, so you're trying to clean and adjust it in such a way that it will look really perfect. So this is what we have. Yeah, so okay, this is what you can also do. Instead of using the hard eraser that way, you can done. This is what you should do instead. You make use of the lighter part of the eraser so it doesn't look too sharp. Not mask. Yeah, so you drag this to this one here to make the eraser kind of soft, so to look like you are blending it in. So you can see the difference now. So for this part here, this ones can be sharp because they are closer to the edges. So for the other side, so I did, you can make it sharp. Yeah, so you have finished up with what is that. So the reason for this stroke, it's kind of thick here. I don't think it's something we should have done at the beginning. So I think we should have used just one for the stroke width, but there's really nothing we can do now. So we might just have to leave it like that. So when you're doing yours, you make your own stroke thick. So once you're done with that, you lock every of the layers you have there. So then I can say we can also merge them. Okay, don't let us merge. I want to separate other things. So let's align this to the center. Then for the shadow, you have the you create a shape, then you change the shape to a circle, then you drag it this way. So I'm trying to adjust this here. So for the fill, okay, my fill color, make it black, then the stroke width, then blur radius. So you just drag it very close. So for the opacity, this for the opacity of the fill, you can reduce it or even you put it at 0. So you should have something like this. Then you reduce the opacity generally here. So still reduce the opacity. So once you are done, take it towards to back. Then that's for that. Then after that, the text you have here, the happy birthday. So you'll be duplicating the BI here, and we'll be having happy, HAPPY. Then you use the size. So because you tampered with the size, the perspective have changed. So you just use your rotate to adjust it. The spacing here, let's increase it. So let's make the text a little bit smaller. Then the text background, use something like pink. So you can pick from the color or just something like this. Was just so you increase the left and right padding. So you bring this down, then you adjust this. So the rotation, so you take it to back. Then after that, okay, the padding at the left is too much. Okay, so let's move this. Then the spacing here, let's increase it. Yeah, so no. So you can see why I insist we add spacings instead of touching the perspective. So that's what affected the RP there. Then what else do we have on the design? Okay, the names. So for the name, we have Happy Birthday Samuel News Montserrat Light. Then you increase the spacing. Then I think we also have the name at the sites again. So you do want the spacing. You don't need the spacing for this, and you don't need the background too. So I think this is in black. Then you duplicate. I think the other was in white stroke. So to do that, you color, you select colorless, then you come to stroke, you select white, you reduce the stroke width. I think having it on one is enough. Then you take it to the back, then you adjust it. So the other thing is okay, +1. So you can just place that on the design and change the font also to Montserrat or Baby Snow we used at the beginning. Okay, Baby Snow. The plus there is something else. So so you can just reduce the size. Same thing for this. Okay, let's just delete that and duplicate this. So you place it around the design, and once you are done, now moving on to the last part of the design, that's the grain texture. You can actually do that on Pixellab. So you come to noise, you can see once you come to noise and you enable it, then you now play around with what you have here. So the reason why I'm increasing it here is because when you save, the opacity of the grain would reduce. So you save your image. You also save as projects in case you want to make any changes. If you save as project this way, you have your project all scattered. Once you want to save and the tools move up like this, so I think I'll have to come back and save it. I can't save it this way because it will actually scatter my project if I save it that way. So we'll move on to another app named Photoshop Express app. So this app is just here to, like, you just want to add filters and make your work brighter, saturation, or give it other effects you want. So there are lots of light lakes effect you can use on the app. So let's see if I would say anyone that interests me. If you can't find any, okay, let's see. Okay, I think I will not be using any of this. So you come here for the clarity, you can just tamper with it a little bit. Let's say about 15 or 9. Then okay, it also has green feature here, so you can actually do more with the green here. So the green here shouldn't be too much, 6 or something. So then moving over to saturation on vibrance here, so you can increase this. So also contrasts. Yeah. So I think we are we are done. So once you are done, you sharp on share and you save to gallery, and here you have your design. So thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, like, drop a comment, subscribe, and also share the link to other creatives and designers who you think they should learn from the video.